Takehiro Tomiyasu, on the back of a great performance against Lens, we're now hearing the news he is on the brink of signing a new contract with Arsenal. I'm here with Laurie to talk about it. Before I give you the breakdown of what David Ornstein has reported, and a shout out to Mo, who I chat to on Twitter, who was also first with the news as well. This is good news. This is a young talent who arrived at the age of 22, he's now maybe 24, 25. And while we're going to go into the details and explore what the contract means and his future at the club in a sec, this is a player that I think we all really appreciate in the squad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think in the time he's been here, what are you, 2021? Something like that?
2021, yeah, somewhere 2021.
Yeah, I think he's very quickly become a fan's favourite.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say the fans all love his attitude. He's almost the epitome of the professional footballer, the modern day professional footballer that all the fans love. Very committed, very energetic, very good attitude.
Very versatile.
Very versatile, two-footed. He could play centre back, left back, right back.
Yeah.
And he does so, you know what I mean, he's accomplished on the ball as well. So
yeah, completely agree. I think he's an immaculate player in that, like, he never, very rarely you saying he let you down. I mean, there's like an error against Man City every now and again, but I'm never looking at a game and going, across the 90 he was a problem. And then, you know, and that's at his worst, and at his best I'm going, wow, like a big reason as to why our defence can be so robust. You know, some of the performances he's had one-on-one with Mo Salah and the other jobs he's done in the team. He has shown his potential, because I think there's still potential, there's talent, and he's a very good player for the now, but I think he can even get better if he of course stays on the right side of injuries. We know that's been a problem, and it's kind of hampered his ability to get kind of regular minutes. But let's just go through what David Ornstein said on The Athletic. Arsenal in negotiations with Tomiyasu over a new contract. Premier League club have made an offer to the Japan international. Two parties expected to reach an agreement in due course. Current deal expires in 2025, so yeah, you have a year left come the summer, so it makes sense to get this sorted. The club although the club do have the option to extend it by a further 12 months, so no great rush. I think this is more a rewarding a player who's done really well, more than it is like a fear of protecting assets. I mean, of course, Arsenal are being smart with the new deals. He highlights in this article Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, William Saliba. They've all signed new deals recently. Did Ben White, or I think Ben White might soon. There's been rumours of talks of that, I can't quite remember. And Tomiyasu, the next in line. But the other thing to say, while I don't really like to go into figures and exact amounts, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, I don't believe he is in that higher bracket of wages, you know, Tomiyasu, which I guess makes sense.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, they tend to go to attacking players, marquee signings, older players as well. He doesn't hit the criteria for any of those things. And
he's
regular
not got the highest
starters.
profile, has he?
No,
but then that's probably by his own design. He doesn't. I get the impression he's not the type of player that seeks that.
Sure, but I do think if the reported contracts of an Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, even seems, you know, the big money that a lot of our better players are on, you'd think there's a middle ground in there.
Oh, yeah.
So all these things will come into play. And look, I know it's not always nice to talk about the financial side of the game, but that'll be a part of it. He's a very good player who, you know, deserves to be recognised financially in that sense for it. But this is a player who is really finding his place in this Arsenal team now, and definitely. It is in the most complimentary of ways as the perfect squad option. Even if he does become a regular in this starting 11, he could play lots of different ways.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was saying to you off air before we started the show that if you're Mikel Arteta, somebody like Tomiyasu, I would imagine it's almost the perfect player to manage, isn't he? Because I just get the impression with him, and certainly stuff I've read suggests that when he was at Bologna, that he's a type of guy that if he's asked to fulfill a certain role, you know he's going to give it his best. He's not going to argue too much, if at all. He's just going to crack on with it, give it his best, and 9 times out of 10 he will do a good job for you, no questions asked. Yeah. I said to you that if they rock up for training one day and the manager says, or the coaches say, right, today we're going to do a 5-mile run up Hampstead and Heath or whatever, whereas some of the others might have a little moan up about it, you would imagine he'll just get changed and say, right, okay, ready. You know
and you can see that in the way, since he's been at the club, he's had injury problems, but he has always tried to respond as best as possible to them. We have signed Kivior, we have signed Timber. Ben White has become a right back in that time because of Saliba's emergence. So actually, where he was a starting right back with, you know, White, Gabriel, Tierney, the defence have evolved so much in terms of the signings we've made that there could easily have been questions about his role in the squad. And actually, he's just fought tooth and nail to make a place for himself. you touched on his kind of, he seems like the kind of character who will do kind of what's required and what's needed by the manager. I think that's shown in that he will play as a out-and-out left-back, he will play as an inverted left-back, he'll play as a centre-back, where he did in the Cup earlier this season. Now he's displaced White at right-back. This isn't White getting rested minutes just because of an injury necessarily. I think he is the starting right-back as of today, now, because he's been better than him. And that says a lot when Ben White was supreme in that position last year.
You're absolutely right. And over the course of a long season where Arsenal are challenging on so many fronts, you need players in your team like this. You need players who are going to come in and give you consistent high levels and are easy to manage and just crack on. Which is why I said earlier, if you're Mikel Arteta, having someone like Tomiyasu is a manager's dream, because you know he's not going to let you down, and that is a big part of success when you've got players like that.
I completely agree, and actually, for all the versatility and the fantastic attitude and all that talk, which is tick, 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 I mean, that's a great thing. It should be something you say about every player, but it's not. It feels like it should be a given, but it's not. He hits all that, but there's real quality there. Like, he is a superb defender. You know, he wins his headers. He's a fantastic one-on-one duelist. When he's, well, I don't know if duelist is the word, but when he was one-on-one against Salah last year at the Emirates in a game about just over a year ago, he looked so accomplished dealing with that job. And actually, very rarely do I see wingers get the better of him. Brilliant in a game against Man City where we narrowly lost 2-1 up against an informed Sterling. Like, he has shown ability to play against the very best and get to that level. And so there is something very unique and special about, I think we've got a plethora of very good defenders, but he comes out as like Saliba, and then he's like up there as one of the most, and that's not to take from Timber, Gabriel, Kivior. It's crazy that we put Timber in there after an hour of football for us, but that's how good he was in the Community Shield.
What a shame he's out as well.
I know, right? But I just think that it kind of speaks to how good Tomiyasu is, that you would still put him just a cut above as a one-on-one battler in games.
I'll tell you what else I like about Tomiyasu, and I can speak from personal experience on this, is his ability to adjust. So I'll give you an example. Myself and Cecil were at the Crystal Palace game earlier in the season, a game that he actually got sent off in, unfairly as well.
Incredibly unfairly,
So in the first half, I've got to be honest, and I remember me and Cecil saying to each other at the time, Jordan Ayew was actually giving him a warm time.
Yeah, he did.
In that first half, I was like, right, because you look at the physical dimensions of the two, you think, Tomiyasu's got this. But to be fair to Ayew, a player that, let's be honest, much maligned at times.
He is,
He was getting the better of Tomiyasu in some of those one-on-one duels. But I'll tell you what impressed me in that game, is that in the second half, Tomiyasu made the adjustments, and in the second half, it was a completely different duel. Okay, I think he got sent off. Ridiculously got sent off.
Havertz was time wasting, but they gave it to Tommy, and then there was then nothing. Jordan Ayew ran past him and fell on the floor, and he
exactly. But in the second half, it was noticeable. There was a marked difference in the way he handled Ayew, dropped off him a little bit, at other times pressed him, and Ayew was having nowhere near that level of success in the second half that he was having in the first half. And the reason why that was so striking to me is that I saw how he'd made the adjustment. So obviously they'd gone in at half time and they said, look, you need to do this. Or maybe he computed it in his own brain. Different game in the second half. Shame he got sent off, but that is just a little anecdote to tell you that the guy is a cerebral footballer.
And he's been an ever-present in this team. And I think the injury he had in February against Sporting, February or March, was a knee injury, which... tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think it was a knee injury. Now, when that happens, that will be joint, cartilage, whatever it might be. So it's very different to the muscle injuries he's had before that have kept him out 1 month at a time, 3 months, then another month, then a couple of weeks here and there. And actually, maybe, this might sound really stupid, and of course I'm no medical expert, but I wonder whether that little bit of time nursing the knee, actually just gave the muscles the proper rest they needed. I just wonder, because, touch wood, there we go, there is, he's proven his fitness over 4 months now this season, and that's obviously very impressive. Final thing I just want to end on with this bit of breaking news. Arsenal are operating really well on the contracts front to tie down all these talents, but to just get ahead.
They've been proactive.
Really good, because you're basically saying that his contract would expire in 2.5 years with the added extension from 25 to 26. So what we're basically saying is Arsenal are getting well ahead and recognising that with the Bayern Munich links to Tomiyasu, we can't ignore that, of course needed to be mentioned in this, and the way he's playing, Tomiyasu really deserved to be recognised, and Arsenal are getting ahead, and that's really good.
And the Bayern Munich thing, I was going to mention that, so you beat me to that. But
sorry.
It's that in itself is an indication of how well he's playing. The fact that you've got a top club like Bayern Munich, who are up there amongst the best clubs in Europe or in the world. If they're targeting someone like Tomiyasu, that tells you that he's doing well.
What does it say? And I know we're going to get Bayern Munich and I'm going to be made to regret these words, but what does it say about where Arsenal are at the moment, stature of club, we've always had a big stature of the club, but the way we're operating, what we've been doing the last few years, that we beat Bayern to Declan Rice. Of course, we know Bayern really wanted to do that deal. We beat them to Kai Havertz. Yeah. I know some fans are still unsure whether that was a good thing, but I think he's absolutely coming into his own now, and Bayern wanted him and we got him. And the fact that they're wanting some of our players, and actually, we're not scared. 5-10 years ago, Bayern Munich want our player, I'm bricking it. I'm thinking. Yeah. But now it's not the same conversation. I think that just says a lot about the last 4 years. You know, Arteta arrived almost 4 years ago exactly. We're back a couple of weeks off, and the perception around the club from the outside, I think, is so different.
It's a great point. Great point. And I would also add on that as well that if you look at, I know I've hinted at this previously, but if you look at Tomiyasu, the way he plays, his versatility, his attitude, his presence and stature on the pitch, to me that is very reminiscent of what I call an Arteta-style player. Because he likes players that can play in different positions. He likes players that are physical. He likes players that have the right attitude. And I think Tomiyasu ticks all those boxes. And the other box he ticks is, I think he's also a firm fan's favourite. Yeah, you've only got to go to a game. Yeah. The fans have embraced him, sing his name regularly, and yeah, man, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, good for him. Look, he deserves it. It's not signed, sealed, and
scored his first goal for us as well the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, Premier League. Was it Sheffield United?
Yeah, Sheffield United.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
5-0, yeah.
It's not signed, sealed,
and I just remember the. Sorry about this.
No one interrupts.
I was just coming to my brain. Yeah, exactly. If you remember the way the players celebrated with him when he scored that goal, remember?
Yeah, they were very happy.
Remember that? Because that was the same day Eddie got his hat-trick. I had to get that in.
Of course.
But if you remember when Tomiyasu scored, the way they celebrated that goal.
Mention Eddie.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, shout out to Ryan. The way they celebrated when Tomiyasu scored that goal, I think I'm right in thinking that it was almost as much as it was when Eddie scored his hat-trick. So that tells you something as well.
Fair enough. Can I? Yeah.
Please take it.
Well, listen, you've been fantastic. Thank you, Laura. I want to hear all your thoughts. Get in the comment section below. As I was just saying, it's not signed, sealed and delivered just yet, but everyone is expecting this deal to get done. Tomiyasu with a new contract. Well done to him. Takahiro has been absolutely fantastic. We wish him all the best. And if you want to know a little bit more about how he's improved and what he's adding to his game, Tactical Insight is out very, very soon. In fact, when you're watching this, it might be out already. We break down his numbers in the game, but also what he did against Lens at a different dimension and get Arsenal flourishing in the Champions League. Big thanks to Laurie. Big thanks to all of you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to AFTV and catch you all in a bit.